More than 50% of the businesses that we're able to sell have been around for more than 10 years. So I believe it's 65% have been around for more than 5 years, and 50% have been around for more than 10 years.
I can see the whole wide world with these two eyes, and I can be whoever I wanna be, 'cause it's my life.
Hi, thanks for joining us for another episode of Ask Spurrell CPA. Today, as the Edmonton Business Consultant, we're talking about how you shouldn't switch business strategies too early. Again, as the Edmonton Business Consultant, talking about how you shouldn't switch business strategies too early. I have May here with me again from our firm. May, how you doing?
Pretty good. Just came from that awesome vacation to clear off my mind. So
Yeah.
I'm back to work. I'm more focused than ever. So
Right on. Where'd you go?
Went to Cancun.
Cancun. That's far away from Edmonton.
Yes.
So the quote that we have here today is Atul Gawande, author of one of our favorite, the Checklist Manifesto. And he says, "We always hope for the easy fix, the one simple change that will erase a problem in a stroke. But few things in life work this way. Instead, success requires making 100 small steps go right, one after the other, no slip-ups, no goofs, everyone pitching in." And the statistic that we have here, we're talking about switching strategies too early, it's one from clicks.com, and it says the average person needs to see your ad an average of 4.3 times before they take any action. So that ad that you figured out didn't work at the first time, well, they need to see it an average of 4.3 times before it has any hope of working out. And the story that we have here are business owners, they're constantly switching strategies over and over, thinking there's one magical change that will produce immediate results. And May, what are the questions that these business owners should be asking?
They should ask that, is it true that most businesses that ever sell have been around for years?
Yeah, so most businesses that are ever going to sell, so we're talking more than 50% of the businesses that we're able to sell have been around for more than 10 years. So I believe it's 65% have been around for more than 5 years, and 50% have been around for more than 10 years. So before they ever could even get a hope of building enough value to be sold, they've likely been around for more than 10 years.
Does this mean effective business strategy takes a long time to product results?
Yeah. So I mean that would suggest there's a lot of business owners, they want to cash out. They want that reward. They want that the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But really, that pot of gold, it's like 10 years out. So even the people who are successful, who know what they're doing, it's going to take them like 10 years to get there. 10 years of executing that strategy over and over and over again diligently. So yeah, 100%. I believe there's a direct correlation between how long it takes to build a saleable business, and that suggests how long it actually takes to execute effective business strategy.
And do you often hear business owners tell you that online advertising does not work?
Almost all the time. Almost all the time, they tell us that, I tried online advertising. I launched a Facebook ad. I launched a Google ad, and I didn't get any results. Nothing happened. So, they immediately, they start to blame, that it's not working, right? They blame the advertising. It's definitely not working. They've just made this definitive judgment that it's not working.
How long do they usually try the ads before they give up?
I think they usually try them for like a month or less. They set that monthly budget or the weekly budget, or they sponsor one ad and they just, run it once and clearly it didn't work. It's like going to the gym. I went to the gym once. I didn't come back with a six-pack the first day. So clearly the gym is broken, obviously, right?
And do they often fail to consider that their ad is bad and not the advertising strategy?
A lot of times that's what it is. I've launched bad ads and I've seen clients launch bad ads, and you keep working at them and you keep tweaking them and you reword them and you make them simpler. You make your no-brainer more powerful, and then it starts to work. But a lot of people, they never get to that level of analysis because they're immediately looking for something to blame. They want to blame the platform. Well, Google doesn't work because, who uses Google, right? No one uses Google for anything. How could Google possibly get a lead to my business? So normally, they're blaming the strategy when really it's the content. You have to face the brutal fact sometimes that, you simply wrote a bad ad, which a lot of times it happens the first go around.
And how long does it generally take businesses to start getting significant online leads?
In my view, in order to get significant online leads, this is like a 6 to 12 month process. It really starts with there's a whole bunch of moving components. There's no one thing that you can do overnight and the phone is going to start ringing off the hook. It comes down to the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to start gathering some reviews. 88% of all the people who are going to do business with you are going to look at those online reviews, and then you're going to have to start to develop some content. And then you're going to have to find out, once you have some content, who you really are, what's your problem, vision, mission, and values. And then you're going to have to differentiate yourself. And then you're going to have to, establish if your branding is correct. Is that brand really communicating, who we are, right? And then you're going to start launching an actual website that might work, right? And now you're at the point where you're actually doing a website that might work, and putting 1,000 pages of content in every page of that website, and getting a no-brainer offer at the top of that website, and perfecting that no-brainer offer, and spending hours and hours on above the fold on that website. And then once you're done all of that, you have 20,000 words of content on a web page, and you got more than 40 Google reviews, and you got a no-brainer offer that's tight. Maybe now you can actually start launching some ads and perfecting the text and the copy in those ads. So it's like a 6 to 12 month process, really, for most businesses to get that advertising wheel turning.
So if they are an expert in online advertising, will it still take a long time to get traction?
Yeah, I've been studying the area for years. I certainly don't know the most, but I certainly, far from knowing the least either. We have a pretty good handle on it, and we're able to generate significant online leads here. And for a lot of our customers who've implemented it, they can generate the leads. But even with that knowledge, you can't really accelerate the timeline. And that's kind of a good thing, because you can think about it, well, none of your competitors can copy you. Once you get it rolling, they can't copy you unless they start. So there's that barrier to entry. It's not like if everybody could just flip the switch, it wouldn't even be that much of an advantage, because everyone would just copy it. But because it takes work, that's why people don't copy it.
And how often do you change your repeatable calendar when starting out?
Yeah, so another item would be like your repeatable calendar. We talked the advertising takes a while to get going, but one of the other components of running a successful business is having that repeatable calendar. What do you have to do each day of the week? What am I doing on Mondays from this time to that time? What am I doing, on Tuesdays from in the morning? What am I doing on Tuesdays in the afternoon? What am I doing on Wednesdays in the morning? And that repeatable monthly calendar. When you first implement that, what normally happens is you get it wrong. You implement this calendar and it completely blows up. I've experimented with the length of time I block out for appointments, and we would block out, an hour for appointments, and we would always just be like scratching the surface of what the customer wanted, and we would never have any time to actually implement the changes that we wanted until we, moved to those 2-hour time blocks that we had. We had to try it over and over again. We had to try, doing appointments in the morning versus doing appointments in the afternoon. We found out we didn't have that time to actually prepare for the appointment. If it was in the morning, you had to prepare the day before, whereas if it's in the afternoon, you have some time to brush up on it before the actual meeting time and get everybody on the same page. So you're going to end up, no matter what you do, you're going to end up changing that calendar a whole bunch, the first time out, the first while we were trying to perfect it.
And do most entrepreneurs give up on creating a repeatable calendar too early?
Yes. They launch that calendar. They put their efforts into launching it, and then it blows up. And then they assume that the problem is the process of developing a repeatable calendar. They don't realize the problem was that's kind of what's supposed to happen in version 1.0. It's not supposed to work. If it was really easy, everyone would do it. The purpose is you do it. You find out what worked, what didn't work, and you make it a little better. Version 2.0 is a little bit better than version 1.0. But they simply give up on it because of the pain points they encouraged the first time, and they're never able to scale it out, where the idea is you get that repeatable calendar that you can just execute that calendar over and over again, and you keep getting successful results. But they give up on it because version 1.0 isn't version 10.0.
And do most business owners give up on a long-term HR strategies too early?
Yeah, HR is one of the biggest ones. We always see business owners. It's not a strategy. It's a put out fire, ignore it, repeat. 6 months later, it's always the same thing. It's they got a fire. They try to put it out and they repeat. So they're never continually looking for talent. They don't have any strategy to actually, train the staff and make it more likely that they're going to stay on, or increase the value and the productivity of the staff. It's simply, have this big need, try to fill it from the outside and probably fill it with someone who's not consistent with the culture, and then that person doesn't get along with the next person, and then it becomes toxic really quickly. So I would think, just like the calendar, those HR strategies, most business owners, they give up on them too early. There's a lot more that they could do if they're consistently executing. Nothing is going to be perfect, but having a strategy that stops and starts in HR is like the kiss of death most of the times. So I think that's what we have here today. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, please hit the like and subscribe button so we can continue to deliver you tips on how to beat the odds at business. And as always, we look forward to any comments that you have so we can respond back and use your ideas for future videos. Thanks very much.